Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl JoJo, and I am here with the review for Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 4. Are we at Episode 5? I don't know, y'all, but we getting there. We getting on through the season, which is always good. Today I'm doing like a watch and review, so I'm just going to try to focus on the main things. I don't have a whole lot of time, but I didn't want to skip the review entirely, although I thought about it, but I just didn't want to do that. Y'all know my consistency has been a problem throughout the years, and I'm really working on making that better. So we are recording today, and we are going to get it done. So the episode actually starts out with nephew Tyler Perry meeting with the gentleman. They find out that Laylin is leaving the process. They find out Justin has been added to the process. And they also find out that they are going to be having a pajama jam. Of course, one of the ladies is going to have to go home after. And nephew Tyler Perry has to let these hoochies know y'all can't come in y'all draws. And it's unfortunate that he had to say that. But you got to say that to this group of freaks. Just because Lamar is gone doesn't mean that we're not having the same issues. Lamar was just very upfront and honest about how he likes to get down. But make no mistake, some of these other men got the same thing going on just based on the conversations that were had at the mixer. We know we are dealing with some sexually repressed freaks. And so you got to tell them you can't show up to the pajama jam in your drawers. Thank you, nephew Tyler Perry, for the warning. You know, I really hate trying to rely on my memory when I do the watch and review, because my memory ain't worth nothing, y'all. Okay. So Alexis and Dominique, they go on a date. Their date was actually good. They went to a stretching place, which I've been wanting to do that, but I feel so lazy at the thought of going to a stretching place. Like, why you can't get your behind on the floor and stretch yourself, which I can, but it sure would be nice for somebody to bend me and move me and do all of the things and put their pressure on my body. That would be nice. But that's what they do. Alexis, of course, has to let us all know she's a bit more limber than others, but Dominique is not all that limber. He said he's not really used to all of that. And fellas, y'all need to get used to doing some stretching. It's really good for your body. Can help you as you age, and it's also good for, in the bedroom. And I know y'all interested in that. So not a bad idea to work on being a little bit more limber, a little bit more flexible. And I heard it also helps you if you do enjoy like weightlifting and things like that. It all works together. Ladies, same things for us. Y'all know how tight our hips can get. We work those desk jobs sometimes and your knees and all that other stuff. So stretching is really good for us as well. Moving forward, they have a pretty good conversation when they're done with their stretching, talking about the things that they want in a partner. Alexis talks about how she wants what her parents and her grandparents had. And if you aren't adding anything to her life, then there's really no point and you can get to stepping. I concur with that. Dominique says that he's just working on, he wants similar things to Alexis and also working on being a little bit different than his family and his parents were. We didn't say that I love yous. We weren't necessarily vulnerable with each other. We didn't affirm each other. And that's something that I like to give to my woman and something I want to do differently. And so she says that Dominique reminds her a lot of her father. And she was like, my father was the type, like, he showed through sacrifice how much he loved us. He didn't speak much, but when he did, everybody listened. Like when daddy talks, everybody listened. And he said he gonna change his name to Daddy Talks. I was like, okay. I mean, I guess that's cute if you into that whole daddy thing. I know some of y'all like to call y'all man daddy. So then Dominique brings up how Alexis is like a player, but he don't mean that in a bad way. He means a player like she can always get people together. She can coordinate things. She can get things done amongst multiple groups of people, amongst all types of people. And that's a really good trait to have in a relationship. But it's also a better trait to have as a mother. I said, ding, ding, ding. We knew you was going to bring that up, Dominique. So, Alexis, you need to be ready for the 2 to 7 children that he wants to have. And if you want what your parents and your grandparents had, you'll have to make sure that you put that somewhere in the writing, that 2 to 7 children is what Dominique wants. I have a feeling that Dominique is going to focus especially on Alexis and the other girl, Mika, because I do believe those two are the youngest in the process. And he need more time to get some children off. However, Mika already has kids and Alexis does not. So he might focus more of his energy there. But their date overall went pretty well. Then we moved to Luron and Vanessa. I don't even know why these two were going out on a date because they didn't have any chemistry to me at the mixer, but maybe I'm not remembering it right. But they go out on a date. They go paddleboard. They do paddleboard with yoga. A terrible idea for somebody who's not used to doing yoga, A, because yoga is hard enough by itself, and B, somebody who doesn't have any core strength. I don't care if they had been on the water or the land. I don't think Luron would have been good at doing whatever it was they were doing because he doesn't have any core strength, and you can look at him and tell. Also, he seemed to have a fear of the water, which I understood. I don't do well with water activities that involve me to have my body in water. I just get very nervous because I'm not a swimmer. I don't know how to swim. I think once I learn how to do that, I will conquer my fear of the water. I will say we went kayaking one time. Me and my ex-boyfriend, we went kayaking, and I really did enjoy that. I was not kayaking as fast as him. When I tell you that boy took off on me on that kayak, I was like, what? How you gonna leave me back here? That really should have been a red flag that he took off on me like that with that paddle. He would probably leave me in a dangerous situation. I didn't see it then, but I see it now. And I was kind of enjoying the view. Also, I'm, weaker up top, so I wasn't paddling, doing my, what do you call that thing? I wasn't going as fast as he was going, but I eventually caught up. But all that to say, when you are fearful of the water, it can affect how a date would go. So I don't know if they should have done that for a date. After they get done, Luron probably tired. I bet his stomach and stuff was sore the next day. They sit down and discuss what they like and what they want. Vanessa says the process is going really good for her. However, she's just trying to get to know everybody and get to know them better, see what she likes. And he's trying to do the same thing. He kind of has like a little listing for everybody in his mind. And Vanessa talks about how she's a little bit worried when it comes to her and Luron because they seem to live two different lifestyles. And, she didn't know what to expect out of him because she's heard from everybody else that he was a partier. And Luron doesn't really like that people have this view of him. Everybody's making it seem like that's all he does and every day that gets brought up. Well, Luron, I would just like to remind you that at the mixer, when people asked about you, you let them know that you like to turn up from Wednesday to Sunday. So it's not that people have a perception of you. It's the perception that you gave. Now he's trying to explain himself further and say, like, I don't have any kids. I work from home. So if I don't leave the house, I'm going to be a hermit. And that's true. You do have to leave the house, and you have to intentionally leave the house when you work from home. I've had my friends talk to me about it 100 times. So I understand that. But then Luron tells us he ain't just, turning up. He's going to lounges. He eats with his friends. Okay. I don't know if y'all go out a lot, but I go out. I guess I would say, I don't know if I say I would go out frequently or occasionally. It depends on who you ask. But I've been to a club recently and I've been to some lounges recently, and they're the same. It's really not too much of a difference unless you are at a club, like a true club somewhere. I don't know, maybe not in America, but I know down south, the clubs and the lounges are becoming the same experience. When you go to a club, I went to a club recently and I was nervous because I was like, I don't know if I still got it in me. I'm long gone from the days where I used to have on a platform and be up for 4-5 hours, the hair weave all messed up because I done been in there sweating and dancing like ain't nobody's business and all kind of carrying on. I don't know if I still got it in me, but it wasn't like that. When I got in there, when you go in clubs now, it's so many damn couches in the way you couldn't dance even if you wanted to. It's a couch everywhere. It's a section everywhere. The club is now just section central, and that's what people like about lounges. They can sit their ass down. The music might not be as loud, so you can talk to each other. So that might be one of the differences, but it's just not the same experience. I don't know what to say about it. I could just remember back in the day, y'all. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. For all my millennials out there, baby, we used to be out in them clubs, hair nappy on top of the track, because, we all had tried to go natural at the same time, but we still wanted to get the, straight hair. We was in there dancing for our life in that club. Them lights came on, makeup was off, honey, feet was hurting. We tiptoeing to the car, but we had a good night. Everybody could dance. Wasn't nobody recording you, baby. Those were the days. Now you get to dancing somewhere, honey. You see a flashing light. You be like, what the hell you recording me for? This is a club. We are supposed to be dancing. You act like you just seen a giraffe in the club. Like this is a rare sighting. And it is a rare sighting because people really don't be dancing no more. When they do dance, they might hit a little twerk on top of them people couches because they all in a section to which them people come, hey, say, hey, get your ass down. We don't allow that in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't ask for an allowance on the curse words. I forgot. But let me get off of that tangent. The fact that Luron is trying to explain that he don't party like that, it's really just I don't even know what he did it for, because his explanation still sounded to me like he goes to club-like places and hangs out from Wednesday to Sunday. And if you do and you don't have no kids, that's your business. I don't see a problem with it. He claimed he does other things. I would have liked to know what those other things were. I still say Luron is too young, to have that weight on him like that. I really do believe that. But Vanessa doesn't look convinced. I don't think they share a similar lifestyle. She has children. She has more responsibility. She understands that he is a single man with no children. And I understand that too. It's cool. But she doesn't know if they would make a good fit. And I would probably agree with Vanessa on that one. Okay, so we are now arriving at the mixer. And this pajama thing, you guys, your girl JoJo loves pajamas. Like, I love pajama sets. My mom has had us in pajamas all our life. And even now, I will come home to a new pajama set for the holidays. She gonna buy me a pajama set. Now, my mama pajama style is not my pajama style, but I wear it for her. But I have so many pajamas. I got short sets, I got pants, I got lingerie sets. I just like to look cute in the nighttime. So I would have really loved this party, but I would have came appropriate. The ladies look really cute. The gentleman looked cute, all except for Chaz. I guess he came and looked. This is what I wear to bed. I don't know what the fellas wear to bed, but I wear these basketball shorts and a gray shirt. He kept it all the way real. I'm not finna go get nothing new for you ladies. Nephew Tommy told him he looked comfortable. Looked like he was going to hoop, and he did. But I guess that's what he sleep in. I think most men sleep in their drawers anyway. So, we get the mixer started though, and everybody's having their little conversations, but I want to focus in on some of the more important ones. So, Mika and Dominique have a conversation, and forget what I said earlier, child. This ain't gonna work. I actually thought Mika was a little bit younger than that. I think she's 36. For some reason, I thought she was 30. I don't know why I thought that. But it ain't going to work for Dominique and Mika, even though they get along, because Dominique really wants children. He feels like being a father is what he was put on earth to do. Mika is done having children. She started having children at a young age, and she's not really trying to do that anymore. And she hasn't met anyone that makes her feel like, I really want to have a child. And that's important. Sometimes, I don't know if it's the same for every woman, but I know for me and some of my friends that I've talked to, you got to feel a certain level of safety to have children with somebody, unless you just really, really have a burning desire to be a mother, which a lot of women do. I know for me personally, I have to feel like you are going to add value to a child's life and that you are going to be a helpful person with a child before I don't know. It's just a certain thing I have to feel with you, or certain qualities that you have to exhibit, certain conversations that we have to have. And for me, certain paperwork that you have to sign, because I'm not having no children without paperwork. I'm sorry. That's just me. I done seen too many people get ran over with this whole child having thing. So I would sign child paperwork before I sign prenup paperwork. That's how serious I am. So, yeah. You have to feel a certain thing. Mika is just like, I haven't felt like that. And I think it's a done deal for me. So that's not going to work for those two. Forget what I said earlier. And then Luron and Koshia. Now, Luron told y'all last week that him and Koshia had a really strong connection. They've even talked for hours on the phone. But he looking at Koshia at the mixer, and she doing a lot of flirting with Justin as well as some of the other men. And she tells Justin that he gonna have to pick up some weight. When he said he was 178 and he was 5'9", I said, well, Justin, I can take you, baby. I'm a solid woman. I ain't got on the scale in a couple weeks because I'm tired of looking at myself being big. But I just want to say, a lot of them girls there, they some thick bosses. I don't really know. But you'll be surprised, honey, them strong, skinny men, they be doing their thing. So maybe Justin said he lost 10 pounds. So he ain't really trying to put it back. He ain't trying to go back to them 200s or wherever he was. What else happened? Who else had a good conversation? I want to say that was the main one so far. And then, Jonathan and Alexis have a conversation. Jonathan did something that I don't like what people do. If you are a certain way in your personality, but you like a person, and they have a different personality, don't change up your personality. Don't start lying about who you are so that you can get closer to them. Alexis says that she is not chill. She is not, introverted inside. She ain't none of that. She's outgoing. She's loud and proud. And he was like, I got a wild side. I can get wild, No, you can't, Jonathan. I mean, let me not say no, you can't. You probably can, but you just said that you was more chilling in the house. So if you chilling in the house, be chilling in the house. Don't lie to get this kind of woman, because what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to keep up the facade. And next thing you know, when you trying to cuddle up with her in the house, she looking at you crazy like, baby, you knew who I was when you met me. So don't try to be nobody else. Just be yourself. And sometimes that works. Opposites sometimes do attract. The in-house person gets along fine with the person that want to be out, because the in-house person gets their personal time, alone time, while the other person is out. It just takes more trust and getting out of your ego, if you can do that. So yes, let's move on. And the Emmy Award goes to Koshia. Yes, Koshia, baby. I don't know what acting class you took, but they did a number when they trained you. I'm not even really going to talk about what else happened in the next couple of scenes. I want to just really focus here. Koshia and Luron Luron pulls her aside for a conversation because Luron feels played. You've been telling me I was your number one. Y'all, we've been watching the show long enough. We can all say it together, verbatim, what Luron was about to say. Like, we knew what he was about to say. You've been telling me I was your number one connection. You've been saying you ain't feeling nobody else. You've been saying we was locked in from what, y'all? Day one. They all say the same thing. What do we say? What do we say? Longtime viewers are ready to love. What do we always tell the people? You can't get caught up with one person in the process. You can't put all your boiled or deviled eggs in one basket. You can't do it. And every time, what do they do, y'all? They come do it. Luron is no different. So Koshia is playing games with Luron. She's playing some excellent mind games, but she's not very good at executing them because it ends up making her look crazy as hell. So when they sit down and have this conversation, Luron wants to know what's going on. And Koshia's just like, absolutely. He was like, I've been texting you and you've been kind of sneaky and secretive if you never text me like that. Correct. Absolutely. He's right. I never have texted. She's agreeing with everything he's saying. And then she's telling him, look, I can't keep you all to myself in this process. We've talked about that. That's true. Luron says you can if you want to. No, she can't. Because as soon as she does that, she doesn't get a chance to know the other men. You will find yourself getting to know the other woman. This is how it always happens. And then the woman is left with you being her only connection, but you got a bunch of other connections. It doesn't work well. Everybody has to go through the process and get to know people. So at this point, as they're getting deeper into this conversation, Maya comes along and was like, I got a bone to pick with you. And she's talking to Luron, calling him a party boy. She joking with him, saying, you called me fat. You called me a fatty. You said I was greedy. And he come over there like, I ain't say that. I ain't say that. Quit calling me a party boy. And he kind of like putting his arm around her. You know how you do people when you want them to be quiet, but you also kind of flirting with them. That's what he's doing with Maya. And so Koshia is looking down there and she's getting upset. And she was like, this is not serious. Like, I'm literally talking to a child. So when Luron comes back over there, by this time, other people have made it to the table. Chaz is there. Jonathan is also there. And Koshia is eating her food, but she getting teary-eyed. And Luron is like, what's up? And she was like, that right there was a distraction. That didn't even need to happen. You're sitting here talking to me about how you would fight for me. That's what he gonna tell her. Even though it's elimination, if you tell me what it is right now, I would fight for you. Shut up, Luron. And so Koshia starts getting upset. She starts saying, I don't know what you want me to say, Luron. I don't know what you want me to say. And he was just like, what are you talking about? We were having a conversation. She was assassinating my character. What? Both of y'all are crazy. Maya was joking with you. And you went over there because you wanted to play around with her too. Stop. She was assassinating my character, so I had to go handle that. I had to go talk to her, and she was like, no, like, I don't know. I'm trying to sit here and be transparent with you. I don't know what more you want me to say. If you want to attack me, if you want to blame me, then I just go ahead. I was like, oh, Koshia. And Chaz was like, man, she clearly upset. So It's not funny, y'all, because it was making Luron look terrible. And Luron was looking terrible from the start just because he taking the process too serious. But he really did not do anything to warrant her to be crying like this. But it's looking like he did. And I felt bad for him in that regard. And he get up and Chaz is like, look, man, can we have a conversation? He's like, hell no, we can't have a conversation. I didn't do nothing to her. And when she want to talk to me, she can come find me. But I'm not finna do this because I didn't do anything to her. So he goes off and he still feels like Koshia has tried to play him. This is how I look at it. This is a process. Nobody is trying to play you. Now, could Koshia have been like, no, I got to get to know more people in the process. You're my number one connection still, but there are other guys I'm still interested in. And I hope you're doing the same because that's how the process works. If you want a woman all to yourself, Luron, this is not the place to do it on Ready to Love. You have to go through a process and then you get your woman to yourself. Not have a woman to yourself that like you the most and the rest of the time you get to date other women and see if you like them. That's not how it works. So I can understand him wanting Koshia to be a little bit more transparent, but just like I tell the ladies, you got to keep it player. Like, don't even act like none of that stuff bother you because you are there to find a person for you, not zero in completely on one person and get sensitive about every little thing they do so early on in the process. Koshia, you are crazy. You need to quit playing mind games with that little boy like that because not only are you making him feel like he crazy, you also look crazy doing it because we not on your side. I hope you know that. As if things haven't gotten crazy enough, we have Chaz coming to talk to Luron man to man, giving his words of wisdom, okay? He wants to be everybody's uncle today. He starts talking about how he was being dismissive and he wasn't listening. And Luron was like, I was listening and I dismissed the BS, which I can do. You can't be dismissive and listening. Let me tell you a story from my life. I was dismissive. I didn't listen, and it kept me single. Listen, I believe that what Chaz is saying is actually true, and it would apply, but not in this situation with Koshia. And I'm going to tell you why. Koshia, yes, she's crying. Koshia, yes, she's upset. Do I believe that Koshia likes Luron? Sure. But I believe in this moment, she was being manipulative with Luron and she was using her tears to do it, which women have the ability to do. Anybody got the ability to do it. I think we do it a little bit better, just my personal opinion. So when Justin came over there and added on and agreed with Chaz that when a woman is crying, when a woman is emotional, that means there's something there. That means she feels for you. Not in every situation. And I wish y'all would have not been giving him these words because it caused him to think differently and think that he had done something wrong. The only thing Luron did wrong was thinking that she was supposed to only be focused on him during this process. That's it. Other than that, I really don't see anything else that Luron did wrong in this situation. I was confused by their conversation. I thought it was manipulative. I thought the guys were way off base, which goes to show me as much as men think they know about women, they really don't. Because if you think just because a woman is crying over you, there is some type of feelings for you there, that may not necessarily be the case, honey. You better get right or get left. That is not always what's going on. And in this situation, I don't believe it, but that's the advice they gave Luron. Now, earlier before all of this happened, I don't want to leave out the fact that Mika and Justin had a conversation where she was glad to learn that Justin didn't really care if he had children. He would love to be a father, but he's okay with being a stepfather. I wanted to say, I don't like the way that Mika asks questions sometimes. She kind of asks it in a way where she doesn't give you a chance to answer the question before a new question is rolling off her tongue. Like she'll be like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a PE teacher. You ever taught other subjects? No, I just teach PE. Oh, so you really like it then. It's just like give them a chance to say what they need to say to get it out. And maybe they have probing questions that they want to ask you. But she doesn't really give that a moment to breathe. I think she's just trying to get to, let me see if we're compatible first. And then I will get to more opening up later. Maybe that's what she's trying to do, but it kind of comes off as like an interview and don't nobody want to feel like that. I'm trying to make sure I don't leave out any important conversations. Was that the only one? I feel like I'm missing one, y'all. Jonathan and Koshia was talking, but child, they weren't talking about nothing. Jonathan wasn't talking about nothing. I feel like that's it. Let's move forward. Oh, no. That is not it, y'all. See, I told you my memory ain't worth nothing. Let me talk about Will real fast. Not William. William was walking around there being very pleasant, as a matter of fact, with his hips, honey. The ladies like William. Will, on the other hand, he was walking around there with a shirt on that said V for Vendetta. It might as well have said that because he was running around there looking for who told the people that he was sleeping on the floor. And he is asking every single lady about it. Yeah, I heard in the mixer somebody was saying I was sleeping on the floor. Somebody said I was sleeping on the floor. And he's trying to gauge reactions. I said, you walking around there being Sherlock Holmes, your ass gonna get sent home because you supposed to be running around there making connections. Y'all, I know I done said way too many curse words. I ain't gonna say nothing next week because I know a lot of y'all watch me because I don't curse. So I'm very sorry. I'm letting them fly today. So Will finally talks to Patrice and he was like, judging from Patrice's reaction, I know that she was the one that said it. What are you talking about, dummy? Judging from her reaction, she pretty much told you that she was the one that said it. She was like in our phone conversation. And why you got to do research on that? How many people did you tell you was gathering up sheets? Okay, did you tell everybody? Patrice was like, per our conversation, you said that you was gathering your sheets and you made it seem like you was sleeping on your floor. He was like, what? All these houses I got, all this money I got, I'm pretty much a multi-millionaire. I ain't never sleeping on no floor. He didn't sound like he believed himself when he said it. Patrice is just like, well, I apologize, but it sounded like to me you said that you was sleeping on your floor. That's what I heard. That's the conversation that we had. Will is like, that is not the conversation that we had. I don't really know who to believe. I don't feel like you can mistake somebody sleeping on the floor if that's what they said. But maybe he had a pallet, or maybe it was one of the homes he planned on renting out, because he said he got multiple homes and he said he a multimillionaire. So, child, I guess. But Patrice said she ain't make no mistake in the conversation. So she just kind of like, I don't know what to tell you, Will. I don't know what to tell you either, baby. Didn't I say you couldn't take these little nasty hornballs nowhere? So now it's time to play Truth or Sexy. And most people pick Truth. Some people pick Sexy. So the people who pick Truth, I believe that Patrice picked Truth. Koshia picked Truth, and we find out from those truth pickings kind of who has certain connections. We find out that Patrice feels that Chaz is the sexiest man there because that was her truth. We find out that Maya, she chose sexy. We find out that Maya, her least strongest connection is with Justin because she had to twerk on her least strongest connection. Y'all could see when they said strongest, she was about to twerk on William, though. I think she was. So that is probably her strongest connection. Justin is her least, and Justin like, shoot, if that's how she doing with the least, I can only imagine once we get to know each other how it's gonna go. Okay, she do her little twerk, whatever. But she wasn't really on him, just in front of him. So then they asked Koshia, is Luron the Don? And just ask the question. Don't try to be cool. And she says that Luron actually is her number one connection. Luron is confused. He's smiling, but I guess he's smiling in confusion because he don't know what Koshia want from him. Anyway, then we have the sexy moment that Jonathan goes over to Alexis. Will also went over to Alexis as his strongest connection to kiss her foot, but I ain't even trying to talk about that. Let's talk about Jonathan. They say go whisper something sweet, to your strongest connection. Go whisper something in her ear. He picked this girl up and he all up on her neck and her ear. He grabbing her hair. She was like, whoa, this is a lot. This is a lot. Oh, Alexis, I thought that Mia knew who to play with. Huh? What does this say about you that Jonathan felt like he could pick you up, force you to straddle him, and then begin to grab your hair and neck aggressively? What does that say about you? Because last week you said that if a man approach you in a certain way, they do that because they know who to play with. Because she would never have a man approach her like that. And this is why you never say never, ladies. This is why you never speak on how a man is going to behave with you. Because as soon as we do, what do they do? Y'all, these men will embarrass you. They will embarrass you. She embarrassed. The men picking her up like a rag doll, child. They picking her up off of Jonathan like, okay, enough of that. Jonathan said he done had some drinks. He looked like he done had some drinks. He looked like he faded. He not all the way there, but that's no excuse. You should have minded yourself, Jonathan. Alonzo with his bonnet on. I had been waiting all night for him to take that bonnet off. Alonzo tells us, baby, you should have learned from me. I am the catalyst in this situation. When we talk about approaching and how we approach women and conversation, you should have learned from me. And truer words have never been spoken. Jonathan hasn't learned anything. I'm pretty sure he turned Alexis off as well as some of the other ladies. So we'll just see how this plays out later. Alrighty, it is time to send one of the girlies home. So the fellas meet up with nephew Tyler Perry, and they discuss who they like, who they don't like. A name that comes up several times is, of course, Alexis. And I wanted to add in, Alexis reminds me of the other Alexis from the other season that's like strategically kind of playing with everybody so that she could remain on the show. Do y'all remember the season that she was on? They had that same type of vibe. But she comes up for a lot of the guys. Vanessa does come up for, I think, one or two people. And Maya does come up. I like Maya. She seems like she might be fun. But I guess I'll have to get to like more depth with her. And side note, didn't nobody mention her name, but I just want to say, I think Rashina is so cute. I just think she is so cute. I was looking at her in her little two-piece. That's something I would wear. She got a cute little shape. I don't think sis got no cellulite. How do y'all not get cellulite on your thighs? Because I've been working on mine for the last year. And it don't look like it's doing nothing. It's not making no... I lie. It made a little bit of progress. But I need to see more. Anyway, off subject. I just wanted to say how cute she was. And I like girls with them little scratchy voices. I like a little raspy voice. So I like Rashina. I think she's cute. Anyway, in the bottom portion, we have Koshia and we have Mika. So they have to decide between the two of them. V for Vendetta is so happy to deliver the news because you guys know he has been aggravated with all of the women since his name came up about him sleeping on the floor. And so he could not wait to be the one to deliver that somebody was going to have to go home. And you could tell he was up there trying to be dramatic. When he said his reasons for why the ladies might possibly be getting sent home, I feel like he added a lot of his own stuff in there, specifically with Koshia, not so much with Mika. Because I do think enough people said they weren't really feeling her and they were getting homie vibes. I do believe, I know that William said it. Maybe he was the only one, but I really think with Koshia, he added in a lot of how he felt about Koshia as far as the chatter. Most of the guys were just saying that they hadn't really got a chance to know her yet. There have been opportunities to talk and they hadn't got a chance to talk to her. Some people felt like she was an amazing person. They just weren't compatible with her. So it wasn't really about the chatter that she had been doing. That's how you felt about Koshia. So he added that in. I didn't like that. But we're going to get to see who ultimately goes home next week. Also next week, they are going to be going on some more dates and we're going to see some different connections. Patrice and looks like Alexis are going to get into some conversation. I don't feel like Alexis said a name to Will. Will was on the hunt for finding the person. And I think Patrice, her anger is misplaced when it comes to who said her name. But I think all of the ladies are right in being upset about things being mentioned from the lounge to the guys. That's all okay for them to be upset about. You guys let me know what you thought about this episode. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you for the next one. Bye.